is an addition to the binary sorter. We are now adding the circuit controller for the item sorting itself. So, let's take a look at what I've got. And, yep, here it is. Now, I'll explain every part to it in a moment, but yeah, it didn't get much bigger. Yeah, it did. But it's very, very useful. So, let's take a look at what we got. Well, obviously, we have to have some way to convert binary into numerical value. So, we got decoders here. We got two of them. We got a 5-bit and we got a 3-bit. And then we have a way to activate just our single lines. So we are because I'm one of these people, I don't like using a lot of just a bunch of stuff. We are utilizing a redstone line of single line, just a single redstone line with a serial transmitter and a serial receiver. So we've got our serial lines. We have our item to binary converter. This will take our items and change them into a binary signal, being able to process into the storage itself. And it all gets transmitted via one redstone line. And you could take your sorting system and place it anywhere. Yep. Now, the serial transmitter, the serial data transmission I'm using is a modification of a buddy of mine, Darth Dubs, that I'm using because it is very useful. So I'll link the video into the transmission and the receiving, which is one video, and I'm going to show you guys how I modified it to make it work for what I need. So, and then I will go through every little bit of the components needed. So, what do you say, guys? Let's get building this thing. Okay, guys, I'm back, and everything we need to build the components is in my inventory. Minus a few things, which I'll explain in a moment. But yeah, what we're going to need is slime blocks, torches, redstone torches, chests. I recommend using barrels, but any container block will work. Some regular pistons, sticky pistons, some non-transparent blocks that you can place redstone on, some redstone, activator rails, regular rails, powered rails, hoppers, hopper minecarts, so obsidian, comparators. I'd recommend a target blocker, a few of them because they're cheap, but anything that will redirect redstone. Some repeaters, some regular blocks, and some redstone blocks. Okay, so let's so first thing is we're going to set up our binary coders. Now, this is the exact same ones that I use over there. And everywhere where I have a observer, I have a repeater. Below, I have a slab with the dust on it, which powers this block, and that piston. And that's where all the observers are, so that I know that they're all getting powered. I've actually tested it. And actually, it's for the timing. We have our our activation rail over here so that we know that's working, and this we actually have in reverse. So if I just power this right here, there we go. That's the reset line. This goes in reverse. So over here is 0. Over here is 7. Over here is 0, and all the way down there is 31. So just run a line over, across, down, power these droppers here, which get powered here, and redstone blocks with lines underneath it. We will be doing something with this in a moment. And over here, just run it and get this so that it just gets powered so that these pistons activate, pushing these up. So, first thing we want to do is build ourselves a Well, you don't have to do this. I recommend it because this is actually how I was planning on doing it anyways. We're using, like I said, we're using a serial coder system. So we're going to build the serial encoder, the decoder, the receiver line actually. And these been placed in a certain spot. So from the front, I'm just going to place an observer there, run a line all the way there. And then the next one, same thing. Next, yeah, and I'm just going to continue running them here. Every spot where there's a repeater powering, I'm going to run it all the way over there. There. And this will be for our regular system. And there's a unique way to set this up. So then we'll just take our powered rails, run it all the way to 3 blocks away, rails all the way across, rails all the way across, and then you can take and place your regular blocks underneath all of these to be able to power these rails, which then will send the signal completely through. Then we'll grab our dust, 2 dusts on each of these. And we could temporarily remove these blocks because we're going to take underneath here at this level, we're going to place a sticky piston. Oh, that's one too low. So the sticky piston with these blocks being powered. And I'm just going to make a line here all the way down. Put a block here just so that I can place these. And we're just going to put sticky pistons facing upwards in this position. And we're just going to put the blocks back. And a block there. And we're just going to run dust all the way along here. No. Okay, so now what we need is our non-solid block. And like I said, I'm using slabs here because I like slabs. Put it on the side of that redstone block. Take a repeater coming away from it. Place it. Put it on 4 ticks. Dust, and a torch on the side of it. Now, underneath the torch, leaving a 1 black gap, we're going to run blocks all the way over there, dust all the way to 1 just before, and a repeater. And if I remember right, it's for you can leave it on default, because that is what we need. Then we're going to take our torch again. Then we'll actually just come over here, put a block down and a block back, break that, and run it all the way over here. Block here. Grab a repeater, and we're going to place it here. Put it on 3 ticks. 3 ticks right here. Bust this out and grab your observers. Observer down, and we need to be able to get that powered. So we can just for ease, I'm just going to throw that there, and I'm going to take and throw a door. A door right there, because that works just as well. And we will run dust all along the top of this. Now we have, when we power this, it will transmit signals based around whatever it's getting powered. So based around these is going to determine which one of these gets powered. This is going to happen first. So what we need to do is go a block gap here, create this. We're going to throw a comparator here with 2 dust on top, a redstone torch on this block right here, with a sticky piston underneath it. Well, actually, we need to move this back 1. And dust all of this. And then we will take our repeater, sticky piston underneath there with the with an observer, a block next to it, a block over, barricading it, and we'll just do this. Take out all this, and we need a comparator, which I have one right here. And we'll throw a comparator going this way. We'll need our repeaters. Repeater going here. And these ones need to be set to 4 ticks. And we will throw a piece of dust there. This will cause enough delay in this to be able to process the entire system. So a block next to this redstone dust with a repeater. You don't have to change the default. You don't have to change it at all. And that will cause this system. Now, if I would just to break this torch, place the torch. Let me put this dust back. It will take a moment and it will pulse this one. And then also pulse this first one here because we have an RS NOR latch here. Item in the bottom. And now we need to set up for a reset. So we're going to take our sticky piston. Underneath this first one, we're going to place a block. Place the sticky piston underneath the block. Redstone block. And we are going to drop it down to at least there. And we can bust that one. And we will place dust. So now, if we take and just place a piston, a redstone block there, this entire line gets powered and everything goes back to being reset to 0, which is the first thing that's going to happen before the system powers. So we got that set. Now we know that's resetting it, and it will reset all of it beforehand. So now we got our controls. Now we need to set up our control here so that if we want this piston to go, it'll push. This piston to go, it'll go. So what we're going to do is set up our right here and throw comparators that I just threw on the ground. Throw comparators powering these pistons. And with that, we're going to need actually droppers, which I completely forgot about. Because we need to create another set of RS NOR latches to be able to control these. And what I mean by this system requires only one redstone line is this is the only line of redstone going from the sorter to the storage. That is it. One single line. And this system this is the system that controls that. So you don't have to build it exactly like this. You can modify it however you need, make it where it will be reversed, but I'm doing it this way because this is the way that makes sense to me. But you can do it however you need. Because I'm going to set that there. Alright. So now I need to throw in some observers here for our reset line. Give me the observers and put the rails down there because this will allow the droppers to reset and throw items in the top. I'll do that later. Put you down there and we'll move you. We'll put a block here. Barricade the back of these off. We'll take that off because we don't need it. And we will grab observers here. And we will line the backs of these with our observers, which is for the control circuit. This is the 8-bit, which is what is needed for that one. You will determine based around how many bits you need for your system. So I'm just using the 8-bit version. And we're just going to make a line of 2 for this one and 2 rails. An observer facing that way, which will power that rail. And now comes the part where we're going to start working on the binary, on the sorter. So, 2 blocks below this one, in fact, right 1 block below that, we're going to place a observer, and we're just going to go bring it all the way out this way. X number of spaces based around the number of chests you want to use, and based around how many sections you have. You can utilize more than one just to be able to fill things in, but you don't have to use all of them. Like here, I'm only using 4 sections of the chest here. Here, I'm using 1. I'm going to use 2, 1, and 1. Then 2. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 2, and I don't need you guys. This will allow me to be able to have everything sorted out according to how I need it. Just let me get my activator rails so I can activator rails on these. That's there. And they're all getting it powered by something else, but all these, everywhere you have it, I recommend just placing an observer in the front of it. Different rails requires an observer for each one. So if you count our observers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that means this one's not needed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. Perfect. That's enough for this system to actually pull everything. So now we're going to go down a block. This is where a repeater will go. We'll grab our chests. And with our chests, we're going to put a double chest. We are going to go under right here. And we'll put 2 blocks back. And, well, I didn't put this in the what's needed, but here we need a piston bolt. I have a piston bolt tutorial, so I will leave that in the description, but the start of your piston bolt will go right here. So I will do this after we go through this part, but we'll have a piston bolt here. We'll have a hopper going into the back of that. We're going to utilize an observer to pull a signal from the comparator right here to start the piston bolt. So piston bolt here, and we don't need a block, but I still throw a block. So this is the start of our piston bolt. Leave it on 1 tick. And we're going to just throw a block in front of there. And pretty much we're just going to run a line. Need to have a repeater. You can put a block. We'll grab some dust. Dust, dust. There's that. You can actually move this one more. Oh, in fact, actually, yeah, we need to move this over one more. Block there. You can use a repeater here or here. Both 2 repeaters or a dust and a repeater. Block up. Observer. Down. Don't need this one there because that was wrong. A comparator. Place that there. Get my rails out. And a hopper. Place it there. Repeater. There. Okay, so now what this does is whenever an item goes in here, it's going to activate the piston bolt. Then also activate the reset at the roughly at the same time, and items will trickle through, go through, bam, collect, and items will end up getting processed out. So what we need to do is throw a hopper there, and we got a special thing we're going to do in here. So let's just grab some temporary items, and these, I do recommend renaming some of these. We're going to take 55 renamed items, throw them in here, and 3 non-stackables. That right there, it will set it up. So, and a hopper on top. And we'll go down a block, up a block, throw a comparator right here facing the back, put a block on top of the comparator, and we will grab our dust again and put 2 there. With the way that this works, we'll have more, and that will be there. That's going to still work. It'll prevent items from going in that aren't supposed to be in there because they are locked. We will throw a powered rail on top of all of our hoppers. We're going to temporarily place a block right here. We'll grab hopper going down, hopper going over, hopper going over. Powered rail there. Actually, regular block. Two regular rails, and we're just going to barricade those in to prevent them from falling. Break the rail, break that. Throw a hopper minecart down here for the piston bolt. And for purposes of preventing anything in, we'll just grab 4 items. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will be there. So let me get this set up so that we can so I can show you. So I'll be right back as soon as I got that done. Okay, guys, I'm back, and I did get the piston bolt built and the rest of the items in. So this minecart will not be touching it because it's technically only in this block, only in the block with that regular rail. So all we have to do to be able to send an item in is just throw a item in to this hopper. You'll launch it, collect it, and put it back. Put whatever item it takes back in, and the loose item there. So yeah. Now, remember how I said that this system is based around using shulker boxes. So let's drop these out because I don't need them anymore. I'll just grab a regular barrel. This one I'm still going to use. And we're going to place a barrel here. Put a hopper there. And we're going to place a temporary block here. And we're going to throw a hopper going into that. We'll grab a dispenser, which I completely forgot about. Take our dispenser. We'll place one here. We will place a block here. A block here. Actually, we'll take an observer. Go down one. Over one. And a block. And we're going to throw a comparator right there. Now, what this is going to do is going to dispense a shulker box out at that point, which is great. That's what we need. And then we're just going to put a block here and a block there to keep the shulker box in place. Drop down to, yeah, that's, don't have to block that. I do recommend blocking that off and that off. And there we go. Now we need to be able to say, okay, how are we going to get a shulker box in there? Well, again, temporary blocks there, dispenser there with a hopper, an observer next to the hopper going down with a block below the observer, dust on the block, block going up. In fact, actually, we'll take that. We're going to leave that block out of there. We'll grab a regular piston and an observer and a sticky piston. We're going to stick the regular piston there. We are going to take our observer. I'm just going to temporarily place one there. We'll place that there for now. And we will grab our sticky piston, place it there, grab our comparators, and bam, place it. So now what happens is, as the shulker box enters here, it's going to power this, which is going to power this, sending a redstone signal here, powering both of these blocks, pushing them out. Item gets dispensed, comes back, item gets broken, one item gets sent out, and we barricade to prevent any loss. Okay, so then the shulker box gets dispensed, the item gets put back in, but we need to break that shulker box. So, next to this comparator, place a sticky piston. Above the comparator, place a next to this one, next to this hopper, place a block with a comparator, and we're going to just throw a sticky piston, grab an observer, and place it. And just for purposes of, this is just, I've noticed this works better for loss prevention. We're just going to throw a fence gate and open it, and then some ice, some packed ice, because we will be sending this to our checker. So yeah, this is our item checker. Okay, so after you get that set up, and most of this setup, we need to connect these. So every place that you're going to find a rail system you need to place, you're just going to do this. You're just going to keep going down. Every time that you have a chance to place a power to rail, well, we're going to do that because we need to make sure that these systems work the way they're supposed to. Now, you don't have to use it like this. You can actually do this and then rail it all the way in. It's all depending on how much fighting you want to do. I don't feel like doing fighting right now, or I would make it look like the way I did over here. Nice and neat, nice and clean. But yeah, I don't feel like doing that right now, so I'm just going to use observers. Rail these up. And you got to make sure you get every single line here done. Yeah, I know this adds a little bit of delay. You can remove some of that delay with a few extra tricks, like, oh, I'm just going to throw a piston in, piston, block, piston, nope. Yeah, but any way you can get the signal so that they're not cross-contaminating with each other is the best way to do it. And rails usually work really well. And I recommend just using rails all the way across. Because with the rails, they won't interfere with each other. The redstone will not transmit between each other. Okay, so now that we got that done, we'll pull our redstone blocks, and we're going to determine where we want to place our booster observers. So, if you notice, this is actually full, but if you get this, just break somewhere, that's going to happen, and we will take care of that. I'm just going to place you there, and I'll just move this one back. And we'll place observers all along here. Now, don't need that, so I can place you there, and I'm just going to reset this. So they're all reset, and we're just going to check the furthest one. Now that should be powered. If I forgot, since I forgot to put items in here. But yeah, these items will be transferred. And to be able to control this system. Okay, so let's go to the furthest one again. Power, break. And as you can see, it's out. Okay, perfect. Reset. Now we need to power this. So what I recommend doing is just starting a line here, placing a block here, run it all the way down, place a block here, and dust. torch here. Doesn't mean we need that block anymore. And we can just run our dust, which will turn that off. Torch here, which will keep that off. So now, whatever code, when this is done processing, it will send that binary code out. So, and that one will remember it. So I'm just going to put a redstone dust in here, pulling out one of these items. And utilizing that, you can program it with setting up blocks like this to say, okay, here's one, here's another, so on and so forth. So this will only go into slot 1. So if I take and just, I'm just going to throw a dust in here, send it out, bring it back, bam, pull the dust out, and first one is open, and the first one there is open. There, that worked out great. So now let's say I'm sending in something that doesn't have a code, like glowstone, which is actually the filtration item, but it's going to put them all in, but it doesn't have a code. I can pull the one item out, and in here, nothing, so they all got locked again. In fact, I actually took all of them except for one. And it fires all of them. Why this one didn't work, I have no idea. I'll figure that out in a moment. But yeah, based around a lot of factors, it can do so much more. Further away this is, the worse it can be. So let's throw something actually that doesn't have, and head on over. I'll throw the activator rail. Come over here. We'll watch the reset. Reset happened real fast, and it powered. Why this one's still powered, I gotta take a look. Oh, I know why. I forgot to line these up. So yeah, you got to make sure that when you do these that you have your alignments set. So yeah, I forgot to remove my forgot to set this back up when building it. But yeah, minor little mistakes, I can control some of it, no problem. Okay, so now let's... Okay, we sent the signal. And now we will resend the signal. And I'll pull this item out. And as you can see, we got zeros. So this is so that one is open, and the first one over here is open. Now, little details on this. These first 5 are for the major storage. These other 3 are for the secondary storage. So, for the secondary storage, we are going to place 3 of these blocks, hopper. We're just going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to run a line all the way. To be able to have it, and rails here, here, there, Observers powering these. Rails. Rails. And rails. Continue on with this system. Bring in your sticky pistons. Right next to these observers. Blocks on top. Dust. And that will control this entire brain system. So now we got our sorting set out and the chest out location. So now we're going to add another part, which is going to be the brain control and the part that will determine in a moment what chest will be selected, but that will be mostly done in the next set. So first thing we're going to do is come back to here. I recommend using redstone blocks here. And at the end of all these observers, pointing towards the front, place a redstone block. We want that signal strength to be 15. We want max signal strength here, because then we can control it. Do not place a solid block here and then something that's going to power and hold the block. You need to make sure that only those get powered. So make sure that's what you do, because you only want the observers to be powered, nothing else. So now that the observers are powered, let me clear my hotbar up a bit, and I'll be back and we will start working on the control circuits for both of them. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. And now on to the next part. We are going to determine where in here things are going to be placed. What row of chests are going to be placed. So what we need to do is set a comparator on subtract mode at the end of the line, with a comparator going into the comparator with a barrel behind it. Now, this gives out a full signal strength of 15. What we want is this piston to be powered, but this piston not to be. So what we're going to do is open up the barrel, and we are going to throw in 12 12 non-stackable items. As you can see, this one's not, so this one's still powered and the other one is. So as soon as we put the other in, this one's not powered anymore. That will give us a signal strength of 8, which is what we need. And so that just means we can just take out all of these, because we are utilizing signal strength with some other parts. So that's the start of this. Now, here comes the fun part. We need to place a block here. And what we're going to do on this side, we're also going to do on the other side. So I'm only going to do one. We're going to take a comparator, put it there, put a block up and a block over with a dust. We're going to grab our block that can transfer, that can just move the redstone, place it there, block here, comparator, unsubtract, and we're just going to power that. And we're going to place a block in front of that, and we're just going to process, and then we're going to go dust, block, all the way to that point right there. Under here, block in front of all these comparators and a block going down, comparators coming out with a comparator on subtract mode going out. So we have a line of comparators, and we're just going to place blocks behind these comparators, and I'm going to set a block here, a redstone block here, and a redstone block here, and throw dust on all three of these. Now these will produce a strength enough if I remove these comparators, but they're getting subtracted, so that's fine. It just tells us certain information. So, starting here, we are going to put up 3 blocks, break them. Actually, 4 blocks, because we're going to place a piston, a block, and a piston. We'll break that. And then we will grab some glass or any other non-transmittable block, anything that the redstone can't go down, it can't pass through, and we will go all the way down to one below this, set these here, do the same thing with this, comparators, and then we'll just throw more blocks here, put comparators on them. There. Now we got to determine where do we want our 0 to be at. So basically, wherever when these are like this, we want certain ones to be. So I recommend either the top or the bottom first. So if it's the bottom, we're going to do that, and we can just disable it by removing this block, and as long as the signal transmits through it, we'll be fine. So I'll just do that with all of these, and with that. So as you can see, only one is powered. We'll grab our pistons again, down, leaving a 1 block gap, a block between them, and another piston. And we'll grab observers, and we will go 1 over with both of these. If I can get this one in its place. There. Then we will go down. Actually, this one we can bring over 2, and then bring them down. This one further than the other. Blocks on their faces. 2 blocks down. Put an extra block here. Actually, we need 2 blocks. Observer. We can bust that out. Block on the observer. 2 blocks. Observer. Bust that out. Block on the observer. And we'll just put dust all along here. Grab our doors. I recommend using doors here. Place a door here, and there you go. Now, the way that this works is this one's going to get powered first. So now we know that this is no longer powered. So we're going to bust out these blocks here and place them there. Okay. So that works. These aren't powered anymore. But the next one is going to get powered both of these. So we know that these need to be solid blocks to be able to power all the way through. And the last one is going to be here and here. So if we remove the block here, bottom one, if we power here, second one, power both, third one, last one, top one. And that's how you figure out how you want to program it, where your chests are going to be. You go one step at a time. So, with that, let's just take and put 2 blocks over and move that there. We'll grab some redstone torches, and we're just going to power all of it. Put blocks on there, that, and a dust right there. We'll grab our regular pistons because sticky pistons are far more expensive. And we're just going to put 3 there. Grab a non-movable block and then put a target block. I do recommend the target block, or something to just move the redstone. Anything will work as long as the redstone moves. And we're just going to make a simple 3-part binary encoder. And throw pistons on here. And there we go. We have to power it from right here. So let's just let's leave that like that so that we can take a look and see where things are getting powered. In fact, let's actually get a good visual, because it's easier for you guys to understand what I'm talking about if you guys see what I'm talking about. We're just going to put a redstone lamp on all of these comparators, just so you guys can see. So we're going to go up, over. We're just going to snake our way. You're going to use observe, or we're going to be using comparators. And dust to be able to transmit our comparators down. Dust, and I'll throw a comparator right here. Alright, so now this is not good. This is just going to kill all of them. So if I remove this block, none of them will go. Now the first one is supposed to be 0. So if I place it here, we'll get the first line. Well, we don't want that. We need to be able to, again, control that. So take a barrel or any other thing that can produce a signal, get a block, comparator, barrel, needs to be in subtract, and throw one item in, and now that's down to 1. So if I power the next one, 2, 3, 4, fifth one, 0. That's fine. So now that's good, all good. So we'll just take these out, and from here, all we're going to do is run a line along here, all the way down, over back to over here, do the exact same thing we did over there, over here, and we're going to just skip every other one. And if you come to this point, let's say, because here we're going to put a comparator, 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 dust. That dust will power that. We don't want that, so we'll just throw another comparator there, and then we'll just continue on. So, like I said, we'll do the exact same thing over here that we did. We'll do the exact same thing over here that we did over there, but in the opposite direction. So let's just. So we'll get that done. I'll get that done off screen, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, just a little side note. When you get over here, what we want is this to be set on the 5th one. Come over here in your barrel, and I recommend setting it up on this side, just like this, where this one's 0, and this one is 1, and just put in until you don't have any signal coming out. Just like that. No signal coming out, so that means that when this one would be powered, none of them will be powered. So if I move it up one more, we get a signal strength. We get the first one on power. So that was, remembered it while I was putting this together. So I'll continue finishing this up and bring you guys right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. And as you can see, I got both sides put together. Now it's time to combine them to the sensor that will say, okay, this one is now full, so let's put shulker boxes in there. So what we got to do this to both sides. We're going to put blocks in front of these comparators, blocks next to them. In fact, this one will go down one more. And all we have to do is just tile up. Just do this all the way across. We will put our dust on one side and alternate going down where the dust is going to be. So let's just put the dust on this side because the way I have this set up, and we'll place a comparator here, block up, and zigzag your comparators all the way. Now let me put these blocks back because I forgot to. And you do it to both sides just like that, with the exception on some parts over there. But yeah, so then from here, all we have to do is dust, bring down one. If we want to make sure that we don't want ever to have these connecting. So here would be just bring out over one more. Actually, we can just utilize this, bring it out, bring it over one, and then down one more, and we will repeat the entire process all the way back to over here. Okay, so now we got that set up. We are now going to do the same thing over here. And we'll throw an extra one down here. And we'll start here with that. Block up. Block down. Comparator. Dust here. And then we can at least have everything else there. Block up. In fact, actually what we need here is some immovable non-sticky blocks. It doesn't matter what the non-sticky block is as long as it's a non-sticky block. We're going to go all the way up to here. Put a block here. Put a comparator here. A block up. And a sticky piston. Slime blocks going all the way down. All the way to here. That can be a solid block. That can be a solid block, and dust there will break that, throw a redstone block onto this, and put it in subtract mode. Get another comparator. Put this in subtract mode. Get a barrel again, place it there, and we will put this one on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fact, we'll put this one on 4 first. We'll get some, again, non-stackables. We will keep going. And now if we put this one on 5, it should activate. Pretty much what this does is lock this from continuing sending a signal through while we control what goes on. Put a block here, dust, and we will grab a block there, a comparator, a block, 2 more blocks, dust, a comparator going this way, a comparator going this way. I recommend just grabbing yourself a cake at this point, throw it here, put this on subtract, block up, block down, block up, over, dust, comparator, subtract, sticky pistons, and then we will just put slime blocks slime blocks up. Put dust here, put a block there. Same thing over here. This is going to be the control circuit for when things say, "Oh, this is now part of there." So pretty much there's only one thing left, is get yourself a double chest, because that's how we have everything stored. Place them like that. Get yourself a bunch of easily obtained items. I do just recommend using like snowballs. and fill your chest up to the point where it's like, okay, I want this to be filled to, oh, I want only half of this to be filled. Throw that in subtract mode. So if we take a look at this system, we got this side done, which means let's just activate the first one. It'll help if I did that. Activate the first one. We don't have any signal coming out. So if I take, let me clear my inventory, and start putting in smithing tables, if I put smithing tables in here, all the way until I get to that point, I'll throw a half a stack in. As you can see, this piston's not up. But as soon as I'm going to throw all but one full stack in, that piston's still not up. But as soon as I throw the last item in, 2 full stacks. This one should be up now. Okay, yeah, it can get a little tricky fine-tuning it the way you need, but all you have to do is just pull items out, until you could get to the point where, oh, I know why. Because we forgot to, well, I forgot to place this. But yeah, like I said, you gotta do it all the way across. Yeah. Let me get in here. Dust there, dust there. And now, so if I put this back on subtract mode, that will lower that one. Put the extra one in, and let me go remove one of them. It's down. So if I add one more, it will pop up and say, okay, now you can start putting in shulker boxes. And then when this one pops up, it says, okay, now start sending them to the bulk storage. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this right now, the way I have this one set up. This one is the start, and it goes around like that. So, downfall though is 0, 0 doesn't have a spot that can be filled in there. So 0, 0 will always be for me, a non storage section. So I cannot put any type of storage in it whatsoever. So that's why I usually just block it off like this. So it will only send bulk item. So when this is full, only bulk, it will only send. This is a non-stack. This is a non. This chest right here is just for things that are not in the system, and if they are in the system, they wouldn't ever be put in here. This is just for things that don't go into the system. So you can always look like, oh, I need to put smithing tables in the system, so let's go put it in. Having one chest, this is the only chest that was going to be like that. So, we'll finish. All you have to do is just finish up this. In fact, actually, you don't even have to run it that low. You can just stack them all like this. But that last one either has to be a dust or a comparator. It can't be a solid block if you have to do it. So just run, and then anywhere where there's a chance of the redstone interacting with other parts, no. Oh, perfect. So now we'll see how... So now, this system, like I said, is used only if the other side is used, because it's blocking this one from sending a signal across. So we're still on 1. So if I just hijack that, hopefully this will give me, yep. Hijack that, it will send signal strength all the way over saying, okay, time to put items in there now. Time to put items in the shulker box. And this will never interfere. And this side will never interfere with the other side, which is what this is for. Even though they're identical, that one little pillar is what controls one side to the other. See, I can remove this and pull. We'll just pull a stack out. And nothing. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully your binary storage is coming along great if you guys are building it. But if you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. If it's a major issue, I recommend joining my Discord. Link will be in the description. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to join my Patreon. Link will be in the description. But you guys, this is the Redstone Wizard. Enjoy building.